Saturday, I wanted to record a video about motorcycles and mental health, and just taking it easy here. And my SD card filled up partway through, and I just wanted to finish that off. And then also a little bit that I accidentally edited out. There was a section where I thought I had been recording, but I hadn't actually been recording. And you know, I talked in that first part a little bit about how one of the benefits of riding a motorcycle, or dirt bike specifically, like for mental health or for depression, is that it can very easily be dangerous. You take your mind off the trail just for a second or two, you know, it can mess you up. And you know, of course, one of the benefits of that is the forced meditation, and I talked about that. But there's another benefit, and it'll sound dumb, but like, I think humans were designed to fight for our survival. You know, like, for most of our history on this earth, our lives could be fairly difficult, and we could fairly often be put in danger. And now, you know, there's a book I was listening to an interview with the author about. It's called The Comfort Crisis. We live in so much comfort. It's kind of like we don't have to fight for things anymore most of the time. We just, you know, we live in a climate-controlled world. So we live in so much comfort. You know, most of us work in a climate-controlled environment, and we microwave a meal in 2 minutes. Everything's super easy, and there is something that happens when you get like that adrenaline rush and that little bit of fright. I think it's why people go skydiving. I think it's why people, you know, are in these, you know, extreme sports, or even the ones where they push themselves past what seems to be like the limit of human endurance, where they, you know, these 100-mile races, and, you know, where they're, you know, running, and there's something that happens when you're in a fight, and it just makes you realize how badly you want to live. And it awakens something in you. I don't know how to explain it any better than that, but it's really easy to feel that on a dirt bike. You know, again, I'm just doing roads because I'm not good enough to do single track and talk. I can't even go fast on roads and talk. It seems like I can do one or the other fairly well, but not both at the same time. And anyway, there is just, I mean, you know, you take your mind off things for 2 seconds, and even if when you're paying attention, you know, you'll be going around a turn, and all of a sudden, you know, it's a little looser than you thought it was, or, you know, your back end starts to slide out, you lose traction for a second, and you know you could high end. Just and so I do think that's one of the benefits, is it gives you a chance to like pit yourself against fate, or anyway. So I wanted to just throw that in before I got to my third and final thing about mental health. It doesn't really have to do with dirt bikes, but you know, since we're on a dirt bike, and you know, so the first two things that I talked about were having something that you're passionate about, something that you wake up in the morning and you're like, I want to do this. I can't wait to do this. I'm excited. Oh man, that's pretty. It's funny, I've only done this road once before. It was a long time ago. It was in the winter. Anyway, something that wakes you up and makes you feel passionate and excited about life. And you know, whether that's a hobby, or some people get that from their job. A lot of us don't get that from our job, and you know, you gotta have something like that. And then the other thing was to have friends that you can really talk to, people that you can go to when you're struggling and get good advice and get a reality check. You know, like I said, we can be so blind to our own strengths, our own weaknesses, and especially when we're struggling. When we're struggling, we're really good at basically lying to ourselves. And so you need someone that you can talk to. There's another thing. It's actually a surprisingly powerful thing too that happens when you say a lot of your fears and a lot of your anxieties, when you say them out loud, especially to another person, but even just to yourself, they start to lose power. And I know that sounds dumb, but I promise you it's true. You know, you start to say those things out loud and they lose power. Anxiety and fear thrive on secrecy. And if you're a normal person, especially a guy, you know, you keep so many of your emotions bottled up in secret, and all those fears just build and build and build and build and build and build and build until they have a great deal of power over you, and you don't even realize it. And that's something, I don't know if all women are way better at this. I think most of them are. But like my wife is really good about sharing fears and anxieties and also seeking help. She's way better. You know, emotionally, she's a lot more mature and advanced than I am. And definitely learning a lot from her. But there's so much power in just being able to say those things out loud, share those fears out loud. You really do. You just rob them of some of the power that they have over you. A little single track looks cool, but I'm pretty sure it just ties back in. I don't know. I'll have to try that later when I'm not talking into a camera like an idiot. Anyway, last thing I want to talk about is getting help, getting therapy. So I'm 50, and when I was a kid, there was like this stigma about going to see a psychologist, and I think it still exists a little bit. A lot of it's gone. We need to completely do away with that, with this idea that needing help makes you mentally weak. That is the exact opposite of strong. You know, since we're on a motorcycle, let's use that for an analogy. Let's say you're riding, you overshoot a jump like I did, land on a felled tree, and completely break your ankle. Okay, I did that. I did that in 1998, jumping my XT500 like an idiot in the Uinta Mountains in Utah, and hit a jump that I'd hit probably 15 times before. Hit it just a little too fast, hit the lip a little better. It launched me 10, 15 feet further than I had ever, you know, it had launched me before. And I landed on a fallen aspen tree and broke my left ankle. And of course, like an idiot, at the time I didn't have health insurance, so I just kind of let it heal. And long story short, those, like to this day, that's 24 years ago. Oh my gosh, it's 24 years ago. The tendons on that side are still looser than on my right. Like, I will still roll that ankle sometimes. Does that make me strong that I didn't go to a doctor and get help, that I didn't go do physical therapy and figure out how to make that ankle just as strong as it was before, maybe even stronger? No, that makes me weaker. That makes it so to this day when I go hiking, or even sometimes if I spray lawns for work, I'll be walking across an uneven lawn and not watch my step, and I'll roll that left ankle. That's something that I'll probably have the rest of my life, because I didn't take care of it. And mental health is the same way. Going to a therapist because you have traumatic experiences in your past, or because you need help dealing with some anxiety, some depression, or some OCD, or whatever it is that you have, or ADD or ADHD, that doesn't make you weak. Going to get help doesn't make you weak. It makes you stronger. And I don't know why we have that thought, but we do. As men, we definitely, I'm going to stop because that's a great view. As men, we need to adopt that paradigm. We need to start saying, like, you know, we could totally put off therapy and all that stuff, like, oh, that's for, you know, that's for wimps, or, you know, weak people, mentally weak people. But the truth is, it's not. It's for anybody. People have, just like people have medical issues, people have mental things that come up. Some of them might be chemical, some of them might be from trauma in our past, our childhood or our adulthood, or you know, they might have a physical reason. Just hate the idea that anyone would be embarrassed or ashamed to get the help they need, because it really is. It's no different than any physical ailment. It's no different at all. It's the same thing. You know, you get sick, you need help, you get the help. That's what it's all about. So my voice is totally shot. I've hit that point in this cold where, like, I'm starting to get lots of congestion. If you've ever sneezed in a motorcycle helmet, you know how ugly that can be. So I'm probably just going to sign out, but love you, pulling for you. Like, we can do this. Find some good friends. If you don't know how to find good friends, this is one place you can look, is the dirt bike community. There are a lot of great people here. You know, start maybe doing some adventure rides with some friends, and really start opening up. And my experience has been that when you open up to other people, even other men, that they'll reciprocate, that they'll respect that. And you can reach out and say, hey, I need some help, I'm struggling.